and I almost gave up hope of finding a good school. One of the main aspects that actually stopped me by saying that yes, this is it, was that every child is given a voice, every child is given a choice, and every child gets to be an owner, what they learn and what they speak.
Hi, welcome to Slate, a school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters. Today, we have Ms. Heena, whose kids are studying in Trio World Academy, which is in Sahakar Nagar in Bangalore. Let's speak to her and understand her perspective about the school. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming forward.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad to be a part of this. I hope that I can help parents decide what is the best school for their child.
Great. Ma'am, to begin with, what particularly impressed you so much about the school that you took a decision to join your kids in this?
Let me be very frank. It was just a last minute decision, but I do not regret it until today. I have been here for 6 years with my children, and I think it's a blessing from God. It was just a school fair that was going on, and I happened to walk around the stalls as usual, and Trio was at the last stall, and I almost gave up hope of finding a good school when I came into Trio World Academy stall, and Miss Radha, a counselor and recruiter, the teacher was there, and she said, "Ma'am, do you have a minute? I'd like to speak to you about our school." And I was fairly new in the sense of, getting out there and trying to approach parents through the stalls. We went there and we said, "Sure, ma'am, let us hear what you have to say." And the first few words itself made me just sit down and listen. So I was so impressed by the way Miss Radha actually spoke to us, gave us an overlook of the school and insight. And I think always they say first impression is the last. And I think that is where we, even before visiting the campus, we decided this is it for our children. And we went through over 14 to 15 schools and went through even site visiting about 4 schools. In spite of that, the way we were approached by the school kind of made us make the decision. One of the main aspects that actually stopped me by saying that yes, this is it, was the care. I think the care that the teacher took in the time she took in explaining to us what the school meant and would mean for our children is what helped us make the decision. So I think any parent, be it me or you or anybody else listening to me, the most important thing that they will be looking for is care. Because we leave our children there for 6 to 7 hours a day. When they come back, we want to see the smile on that child's face to say that, yes, Mama, I had a good day today. And I felt that. It was a vibe, you can say. We felt that as parents when my husband and I went and visited the stall. And I think that's what made that decision that day that Trio is the way to go.
Great. And now after 6 years, ma'am, can you share your thoughts on the academic orientation of the school and also the curriculum that they follow?
Absolutely. So both my children, I have 2 kids here at school. One of them is in the PYP curriculum in grade 5. My other child is in 6th grade in middle school. So 2 different aspects now I'm getting to see. All these years they were in PYP together. And the academic approach at PYP is one point that I have written down that I would like to actually talk about is voice, choice and ownership. Every child is given a voice. Every child is given a choice, and every child gets to be an owner, what they learn and what they speak. The way it is laid out, the way the school approaches these 3 points, it's not just in a book. It's not just in a diary that says this is what we do. So this is what is the Trio Almanac, as we call, and it lays out every little thing that the school does. But I don't think it's just in pen and paper. I think they make sure that all these points are experienced by the child in the school. So academically, my children are able to voice what they want to do. Back in our days, coming from an ICSE background, this is again not to compare IB or ICSE, but back in our days, we were not let to stand up in the middle of a teacher teaching and saying, "Miss, I don't feel this is right." Today, the child is able to stand up and voice what they feel. Not only while the teacher is teaching, but also in sessions of project handling, in session of group sessions when they have, they can stand up and say to a group, hey guys, I don't feel this is right. Can we take a different approach? The school is allowing them to do that. So academically, yes, you have a laid out perspective that you have to follow. You have laid out syllabus, you have laid out portions. So here, academically, my child is involved. Academically, my child is allowed to say what is right or wrong. But yes, it is always the decision of the school on how they can, the approach that they can take to, towards what the children have to say. The main thing, opinions are taken into, and that is what I think is the most important aspect of learning academically.
Got it. That's very nice to hear. And is it just the kids' opinion or even the parents' opinion? How accessible are the management?
Parents have a big say in everything that goes on. Always in any school, I think parents stand up for what the school is. And I think parents are a backbone of any institution. So I think it's very important for me to say, and I am very proud to say, that Trio has involved their parents in various aspects of the school. We do not feel like, the teacher says it, you have to listen, the head of school says it, you have to listen. We are involved, the children are involved, and that's why we are not going anywhere until the kids graduate out of the school, and that's for sure.
Great. And ma'am, for those parents who didn't visit the campus yet, what sort of infrastructure do they have, and how does it encourage the extracurricular activities using the infrastructure they have?
So the Trio campus has both the IB curriculum and the ICSE curriculum, which are two separate buildings. They do have wonderful sports laid out. So they do have a swimming pool that the children are allowed to use, of course, only during the school hours. And it's a part of the curriculum, which is also a part of the ECA, what they call the extracurricular activity. The ECAs also lay out rock climbing, they lay out badminton, they have a football field turf, which is maintained regularly. They also have an amphitheater, which is used as a part of any events that happen throughout the year. Academically, they do have everything that a normal school would have. They have chemistry labs, they have, activity rooms, they have a beautiful library, everything that any normal school would have and above and beyond. Trio is not a huge campus, to be very honest, but in the campus that they have, I think every basic thing that a child needs is there. I don't see the need for any parent to register their child out of school for an extracurricular activity other than what is not available. Trio is also tied up with Barca, which is a football academy. That academy also hosts football classes at the campus. So apart from the normal classes that happen through the school, they also have these extracurricular activities where children have an option to, sign up for a year and then they stay back and practice these activities. Their infrastructure kind of involves everything. So they have an indoor PE room. So children and sports kind of go together, as we know. So the days when they're not able to use the outdoor facilities, they have a lot of indoor options. They have chess as an option. They have arts and crafts. So these ECAs are so vast that any child who's not sports oriented also has many options and many things to do.
Fantastic. And ma'am, I think to be able to appreciate cultural diversity has become a very important virtue for the citizens now. And
yes.
What sort of encouragement does kids get in terms of making sure that the kids cultivate that habit of appreciating diversity in culture?
So cultural diversity is an essential part and an integral part at Trio. My children have been there, like I said, since LKG, which is early years 1. And Trio recognizes, acknowledges people from different diversities. And not only the children, but their families as well. Because see, our children mold according to the cultures around them, according to people around them. More than spending time at home, they're spending time at school. So the 7-8 hours that they are there, they're molding because of that environment. So Trio has created such a beautiful, diverse environment. There are so many expats. There are children from Japan, there are children from China, there are children from Netherlands, from the US. It's not to show off, to say, our school has people from all these countries. but it's how you handle these diverse cultures in the school. They recognize their festivals and their cultures and bring that forward. So our children who don't know much about, let's say, a Japanese culture, they learn from them. They offer Oshibana classes, which are a part of vital part of Japanese culture. And my child is a part of that ECA. So they learn from that. They learn about their culture. They have Indian cultural ECAs, which we teach them. So again, they are bringing in diversity, teaching them about our culture.
Great.
We also have many different diverse food items in the cafe. So every day it's not like, we are feeding them just, dal, chawal or sabzi and roti. We are incorporating their menu into our menu so that we are able to also taste a part of their culture and they taste a part of our culture. So it all works hand in hand. And I think Trio is doing a wonderful job when it comes to diversity.
Great. And ma'am, you seem to be happy with the overall school. But now comes the tough question. If you have to be really critical and tell us the areas where the school can still get better at, what are those areas?
Okay, so yes, there is always a positive and a negative in everything we see in life. Trio gets 100 out of 100 from me, but definitely there's room for improvement. We feel a bigger campus would be nice. Maybe I'm just being avaricious because there is so much the school has to offer. In terms of communication, they have a 9 out of 10. They are very good in communication. They are, most of all, I'd like to say first the positive aspect. They are very approachable. The management up to the head of school and even, I could say the owners of the school are seen in school most of the time. We know who they are. We know who Mr. Naveen is. We know who Mr. Vinod is, our head of school. So any questions we have, they are always there. When the kids come into school, they are there standing at the front of the campus, welcoming the children, in the reception saying, hi, have a good day today. When they're leaving, they say, have a good evening. So it's so nice that everybody is available. It is so nice that communication is so easy with every single person, right from, the people who work, the supporting staff, right to the head of school. Everybody is approachable. But like I said, there's always something that can be worked on. I have to think hard actually to really come up with something that's not there. But I think maybe the academic platform that we are using a platform called Toddle, where the parents can access notes on as needed. Middle school is a little more organized with that. With the PYP, which is the curriculum grade 5 and under. Earlier it was not there. So we had requested the coordinators and the teachers if they could post notes on there on a day-to-day basis. So whatever PowerPoints or whatever presentations the teachers are using, if those could be in every subject posted day to day, because the child will come back and say, I had a good day, I learned math today, I learned this. But then as a parent, we are used to seeing a textbook and saying, okay, this is what you learned, this is what we'll revise. So maybe just work up a little bit on posting these day-to-day notes will actually give a better insight to the parents. So I'm sure the coordinators and head of school have already heard us and they are probably working on it.
Thank you so much for coming forward and spreading this good word of mouth, which I believe will definitely be of some help for other parents who are looking for good schools in the same locality.
Most welcome. I'm happy you're there as a platform to, for parents to approach. Thank you so much.